Hey guys, so today we are doing this awesome comparison. We are going to talk about the PDP versus the Glock 17. Now, these two have a lot more in common than you would think, and I think it would be a very fair comparison. To make this very simple, I'm going to break this down over 5 categories, and before you guys call me out, yes, this is not actually a Glock 17. This is my Glock 19. The Glock 17 I used for this video and all the B-roll you'll see is actually a friend of mine. So just for visual representation of a Glock, I wanted to have this up here. But yes, before you guys call me out, I know that is not a Glock 17, just the 19. So let's start this off by getting a few disclaimers out of the way, because YouTube always likes to make sure we're doing everything right. And we will show that, yes, these guns are empty and they are safe. I also will say none of these firearms were sent to me. I purchased them with my own money. And like I previously mentioned, the Glock 17 used for this comparison and all of the B-roll is owned by a friend of mine. So there is no biased opinions on this. I'm just going to give you raw data from my recent range day, and we'll use that to kind of break this down and tell you guys which exceeds in different categories and what might help you make a future purchase should you be comparing these two, because they're both probably the most common striker fire guns for that size. And if I'm wrong with that, tell me in the comment below, what do you think is the most common striker fired pistol out there? So to start off, let's just talk about the size and weight, because that is something they are very similar on. They both have a 4.5-inch barrel. The grip is about the same height, and they both weigh roughly the same. Obviously, this has an acro on it and an X300. You take that off, and obviously I'm not talking about the Pro version for the comparison, because this does come with a magwell and a different trigger. But if you're talking about a full-size PDP and a full-size, or I guess just the regular Glock 17, they're basically the same weight, size, and all that. So I think that's what makes them very easy to compare. But where it starts to get a lot different is, although they are the same size, ergonomics is definitely dramatically different, at least from my opinion. But before we get into that, I do want to just thank you guys for tuning in and let you know that 2A is getting suppressed every day on YouTube. So if you guys like content like this, please do me a favor. Go ahead and like this video. And if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out, because obviously everything going on right now in this country, the crazy laws and everything we're hearing about that is just trying to inhibit and restrict gun ownership and basically take our freedoms away. So to keep content like this free and coming, if you guys can help support the channel, it really means a lot. So sorry, going back into it, talking about ergonomics. So let's start with the PDP, because personally, I think the PDP fits my hand perfectly. And for reference, I do wear a size large in mechanics gloves. So not the biggest hands out there, but definitely not small hands. And for me, this just fits great. In my past experience, and I'll use this Glock 19 just to kind of show you, I've always felt Glocks just, they kind of, it feels like holding a 2x4 personally. Now in the range trip, I did use a Gen 4, I think it was, so it had like the finger grooves on that grip. Surprisingly, that was a little bit better than what's on my 19 here. This is Gen 5, but I still will say, hands down, the ergonomics of a PDP is just, it just feels way better in hand for me personally. Now, what also really works out for me, like the magazine release button, not only is it a great size, it has a great feeling to it. I feel like the one on a Glock, it's more spongy, it's not as positive. Also the size, like this is a nice little circle right there. It has that guard to keep it up and not accidentally hit it. Whereas the Glock, it's this, weird rectangle. I just don't really like it all that much. While I have this in my hand, we'll talk about the slide release. Now, they both are ambidextrous, but the slide release on the Glock, that little nub right there, I hate that. I've shot this gun for many years before I got into other guns. And I really I used it, but until using other guns, I really never realized how much I did not like that. Now, when I first got the PDP, the oversized extended slide release, I did not think I would like, but they work out perfectly. They're very easy to reach for me. It works really well in the hand. So ergonomically, I will say the PDP for me, I think just feels better overall. I think the controls are better. So for that, we're going to say the PDP, I think, is better. Now, talking about how they are the same size, they are not the same capacity magazine. In a Glock 17, you only get 17 rounds, whereas the PDP is 18. And if you're looking at something that's a full-size gun, you're probably considering this for either home defense or duty. And obviously in those situations, capacity definitely matters. It's definitely better to have more than less. This is not like a compact or subcompact where you're worrying about having the smallest footprint where you're willing to sacrifice capacity for concealment. Now, you could definitely conceal these guns. Plenty of people do. But overall, I think more people would think about these as a larger, more non-traditional carry gun, unless it's on, a belt or something like that. So I think capacity, also, we got to give it up to the PDP because more is always better. Now, you could get extended magazines, and I know they both have variations of that, but we'll just talk about the standard for today. Now, the one thing that will definitely separate these two, and anyone who's ever shot a Glock knows what we're about to talk next, and it's definitely triggers. The triggers on a Glock, oh boy. I think I did a whole video based on how much I love and don't love these triggers. Now, it's just a lot of take up, sponginess, and then a break. There's not even, I can't even say there's really a crisp wall there. It's just, oh, yeah. And the reset, I mean, it's not, listen, I understand a bunch of people are going to attack me in the comments right now because people love Glock. And people, I get it. You can train it with it. You can get better with it. Okay, I got it. But for those of you who are open-minded, there are better options out there. Now, this obviously has the performance dynamic trigger, but from everything I've seen and heard, this trigger is only slightly better than the stock trigger that comes in a PDP, which still would be way better than a Glock trigger. But we'll show this one because this is what I shot. I mean, very minimal take up, crisp wall, clean break, super short reset. I mean, everything you'd want in a trigger. And I swear this trigger actually has gotten better the more I've used it. Now, I will say, I'm not sure how many rounds were on that Glock 17 I was shooting that day. The trigger was usable. It definitely was not enjoyable, but compared to this trigger is just so much better. And I do just want to mention before someone tries to mention this, when I was doing this comparison, I did turn my optic off. So I was shooting irons for both. So I don't want someone saying, oh, well, you enjoyed it more because it was the red dot. I did turn this off, and I will say it was a humbling experience because it's been a little while since I shot irons, which is always a good thing to practice. It's always good to stay proficient with them. It's been a little bit for me because all the reviews I've done have had optics on those guns. But yes, to make it super, super fair, I did turn the optic off on this, and for the first time really was using the irons on this gun. So I just want to mention that before someone comes at me and tries to say one thing or the other. Now, for the last category, we will talk about the recoil impulse. And I will say the Glock definitely is a softer shooting gun. For them weighing the same and being the same size, it definitely shoots softer. And it was noticeable, especially, shooting from irons. It's less forgiving on the eye, having to, line your irons back up for your follow-up shots. And I definitely noticed it was quicker with the Glock than the PDP. And they are known, the PDPs are known to be a little bit more snappy. Not that I've ever thought they were unmanageable, but will say, in all fairness, as far as the recoil impulse, I will say the Glock is better. So there, I actually said a nice thing about Glock. You guys can stop hating on me for how much I criticize Glock for how many other guns are better out there. But so I know what you guys are going to all ask me. What would I prefer? Now, obviously, if I was just talking a standard PDP versus a standard Glock, basically they're the same price. I mean, reliability-wise, I haven't had any hiccups with this. I haven't had any hiccups with mine. I don't know the history of the Glock 17 I was shooting, whether or not that had hiccups in the past. So we can't really talk too much about which one's more reliable. I can say they both are known to have a really good track record, and that's why a lot of people tend to go to them. But for the same price, same size, for me personally, I think I would go with the PDP again. Because like even right now, I've been really thinking about getting a couple more polymer striker fire guns for the channel. And I thought about it, you know, the Gen 6 came out, a lot of videos are coming out, a lot of people asking about them. And I thought, you know, should I get that, jump on the bandwagon? And ultimately, I decided not to, because I have a Gen 5. I know it's not that much better. They've made some improvements. But whereas with the PDP, after shooting this, there's a couple other sizes that I want to try out. Like, I really would like to get the one with the F grip. I know that stands for female, or I think that was the original thought behind making it. But honestly, the grip on that felt great, especially as someone who used to shoot an X macro for years. Like, that more slimline grip felt really awesome. I would definitely like to see how that is. I'd also like to check out their X series that has the comp on the end. I mean, guys, you've seen the guns I have on the channel. I really like more interesting, a little bit different, a little bit nicer stuff. And I think PDP slightly edges Glock out. Glock has kind of stayed in their wheelhouse so long. They don't really push the envelope all that much. They probably could do a lot more, and they choose not to. So which one would I go with again, or which will you see me buying in the future? I think you'll see me buy another PDP before you see me buy another Glock, if I'm being completely honest. Should a Glock 7 come out that, you know, has a comp and all sorts of cool stuff, maybe my opinion will change. I don't know. But I just want to be real and honest with you guys. So that's it. That's the comparison. I hope that helped you guys kind of see which is better and worse in different scenarios. And if you guys have any sort of comments about this, if there's something I missed, drop it down below and I'll get right back to you guys. And again, I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned. I got a lot of good stuff coming. Peace.